Follow us on Facebook at Daunta A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Daunta Long. Follow us on YouTube at Daunta A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.
Good evening to my social media audience tonight. So glad to have you here with us on this evening. So thankful for you taking the time to tune in once again to Long Talk. And I am your host, Daunta Long, here on this Tuesday edition of Long Talk. Hope you enjoyed your wonderful holiday on yesterday, Memorial Day. Hopefully you were able to get out of the house, at least if you didn't do anything but get in the front or the backyard and grill, or perhaps you ate inside. Many of you may, as I heard some say, went to your favorite restaurant and grabbed something from the to-go menu, or maybe you did sit inside. I'm not sure. But whatever measure you took to enjoy, I pray and I trust that you were able to enjoy the holiday with your family while we're still amidst this pandemic and this crisis. But I hope again that you took the time to enjoy family and friends. Neighbors came together and you did enjoy the holiday. And a day after, many have returned back to work. And we have taken the time to come back to another edition of Long Talk. This is your source for relevant conversation, meaningful dialogue. And as we highlight many authors and religious leaders, political officials, and wonderful people who have meaningful dialogue to share with you and I as we continue in our Long Talk discussion. So I am so thankful that you have taken the time to log on and that you have tuned in tonight to this Tuesday edition of Long Talk. Do me a favor, as I always say, take just another few moments as many of you are coming on, but take this time to both like and share. And if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscription button and the notification bell. And I need you to do that so that you, my friends, can stay up to date minute by minute to the latest content that we discuss here on Long Talk. And if you'll just take just a few moments to do that, I sincerely appreciate. Again, if you're just joining us tonight, I am your host, Daunta Long, here on Long Talk. And I'm excited on this Tuesday evening. We have a special guest hailing from the city of Sacramento, California. She is a published author. She's a religious leader there in her community. She also travels the breadth of this country, teaching and preaching and doing workshops and clinics alongside a wonderful woman of the Lord, Dr. Cindy Trim. But tonight, our special guest is present with us here on Long Talk. So please, family, do me a favor and help me welcome Pastor Jacqueline Rivers. Come on tonight. Help me welcome Pastor Jackie Rivers. Pastor Jackie, how are you this evening?
I am doing well. How are you doing? Thank you.
I'm doing well as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk with us here on this Tuesday edition of Long Talk. Trust all is going well for you.
Yes, it is my pleasure. It's excruciatingly hot here in California.
Wow. How hot is it there in Sacramento?
It is. The last I checked, it was 108 degrees. Yes.
Oh my goodness, 108 degrees.
108. And I was driving out in the community because I had to do some go to a meeting, and I couldn't wait to come to do this interview because that meant I can be in the home, relaxing, changing my clothes, freshening up because it was just too hot out there. I had to come in. So I'm excited to be here with you.
Wow, wow, we're so happy. And just to think, we call this Hot Atlanta, right? The dirty South.
No,
And
no.
it's been raining on and off for the last couple of
Mhm,
days. So
mhm.
happy for this rain as I'm a yard fanatic and I've placed fertilizer in my grass and saving on
Ooh,
my water bill. So I'm happy for the rain. I don't know how my fellow Atlanteans are feeling about this on and
yeah,
off
yeah,
rain,
yeah.
but this is just paradise, for
Oh
lack of a
wow,
better
yeah,
term.
yeah. Because I have a garden myself, and I had to literally hose it down with a whole bunch of water today. So I used a lot of water from my garden today.
Wow, wow, wow. So hopefully
Mhm.
you guys can get some much needed rain.
Yeah,
108 degrees.
108. Yeah, and
Wow,
it's just
wow,
what 4 o'clock. So sometimes it creeps on up even higher. So staying
wow,
for all my
wow, wow.
Californians, stay indoors, drink plenty of water, and relax.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Mhm.
Maintaining, um, just continue to be hydrated
Yes,
in
yes.
those inclement conditions there, and pray
Hmm.
that everyone will continue to drink plenty of water, as you said, and
Yeah,
hopefully no wildfires or anything like that
exactly.
to
Yeah.
ignite. So our
Hmm.
prayers are with you there on the West Coast. But
Thanks.
tonight, again, so thankful that you've taken the time to come on. I want the audience tonight that may not necessarily be familiar with who you are, just to
Yeah.
take a few moments and tell our listening audience exactly who is Pastor Jacqueline Rivers.
Yes, thank you. So I am a psychotherapist. Well, first of all, I am a woman of God. I'm a daughter of the King, and I preach the word of God everywhere I go. My purpose is to bring healing to the spirit, mind, and the body. And I do that on all my different platforms as a preacher, as a psychotherapist. I work with people with mental illnesses. I counsel, I coach, I mentor. And one of my newest babies is I'm an author. I love to write. I've written a book, Beautiful Greatness, and also I'm a blogger. So that's actually the newest of the newest, writing a blog every day. And it's been phenomenal. It's been very healing for me. I'm a scientist. I do studies on people, seeing how people's minds work, along with their psychology in regards to how they operate in the world. And I bring solutions to world problems in that regards to heal our body's physical disease and discomfort and mental strain. I use that study to help individuals live a better and prosperous life. And I'm an addicted, how would I say, adventureholic. I love to go on adventures in the midst of being a scientist and helping others, live healthier lives. I love to live a healthy life by being adventurous and traveling the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've got a lot going on. Just a wealth, a preacher, an author, a scientist, a studier
Yeah,
of humanity, and
yeah, yeah.
man, I don't know how you balance and juggle all of that at the same time. Just that is phenomenal. How it is that you're able to balance all of that at the exact same time. So if you'll do us a favor,
Yeah,
just I took a few notes here. I want to ask you.
yeah.
Just recently, you've penned a new book, um, and I want you just to tell our audience exactly about this new book that you have penned. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Yes, definitely. So the book is Beautiful Greatness. You can see that. Beautiful Greatness, the psychology of the unlimited life. And what I found in my research being a psychotherapist is a lot of people came to me with being stuck mentally, being stuck financially, being stuck even spiritually. And different areas of their life just seemed like it would have no momentum no matter what they did. And what God had me do was do a research study. I'm a scientist, right? And so this book actually brings together biblical truths with psychology and science, bringing together to see how can we live as kingdom-minded individuals? How can we live on this earth, the earth that God gave us to have dominion over, how can we live it productively and in the right standing of who we are as citizens of the kingdom? And so what he had me do is to build a strategy, actually. It's actually a strategy people can actually go by to get their life back in order, the right sequence of order, which I call it the spirit, mind, body sequence. And that helps people when they get into that sequence and they're living life on purpose, for a purpose, then the mental illness, the sickness in their bodies, the spiritual disconnect, it literally goes away. And so when they start living, when they live in the spirit of their beautiful greatness, which is the essence of who they are, it's the 5 components of their life that makes them who they are. When they live that out, then they live that unlimited life. They start tapping into the promises of God, not just by chance, but by accuracy, by intentionality. And every day of their life is a day lived with the fullness of time. You know, we pray about it. Lord, give me the fullness of time. And we preach the sermons and we talk about it. We pray for a life, that's under the open heaven. But you have to do some work. You have to do some work spiritually. You have to do some work mentally and physically in your body to live that unlimited life. And that's what I teach individuals in this beautiful book.
Wow. The greatness of who you and I are. Listen, if you're just joining us and you're just tuning in to Long Talk, I am your host, Daunta Long, and we're on with our guest tonight, Pastor Jacqueline Rivers, who is the author of a new book. And tonight, if you will, go and follow Miss Pastor Jacqueline Rivers at Jacqueline.Rivers. You can follow our author tonight. They're at Jacqueline.Rivers. And I just want to ask you this, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
In the book, I want to ask you, what do you feel are some of the key takeaways from this book?
So I alluded a little bit to it at first. And the biggest takeaways that I found, because this was a book that literally healed me as well. I wrote it thinking I was writing it from a scientific, apostolic.
Oh, goodness. Looks like we may have experienced a technical difficulty there with Pastor Jackie. We'll do our very best to get her back on.
Nefesh.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, can you see me?
There you are. Are.
Lost connection? Okay.
There you are.
Got it.
You got a little interrupted there, so please start again. I was asking you some of the key takeaways.
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway was that, getting your life back in the right sequence of order of life. So a lot of times we live in the sequence of mind, body, and spirit, leaving the spirit as a forethought. And our mind, our nefesh, our soulish nature is in the forefront, running the show. We wake up in a bad mood. We stay in that bad mood all day. We wake up somebody and we're having a good day, but because someone else is having a bad day, we take on their energy and then start having a bad day. And God's letting me know and that we're out of sequence. If you're sick and have disease in your body, it's because you're out of sequence. And the way to get into the right alignment is to be in the spirit, the mind, and then the body sequence. Because when your spirit, which is in divine connection with the Lord, then directs the soul, then directs your body. So a lot of people are saying, I want to lose weight. Stop going to your body to lose the weight. Go to your spirit. Then your spirit will order your mind, what you're thinking about, your will, your subconscious, your consciousness. Then it gets into alignment with what the order of who you really are. And then you get into the divine alignment with your body. It just goes with the flow. Because if you notice, if you get, for example, someone goes into comatose, they get hit in the head, they pass out. What is the body doing? The body doesn't keep walking. It follows the suit of the brain, right? It follows the suit of the mind. It lays there dormant. That's all the body's going to do. It's going to follow wherever your mind is going. And this is something powerful that I learned from my spiritual mom. The spiritual realm is the causal realm. Always remember that. What happens in the spiritual realm then happens in the natural. So anything that's manifested, any behavioral that you have, any emotional outburst or manifestation that you have, like you're always crying, depression, anxiety, you're feeling anxious all the time, or even let's go back to the weight loss. You want to lose weight because you can't. Go to the spiritual realm first. And I'm not just talking about praying to the Lord, speaking in tongues. Mm-hmm. I'm saying get into divine alignment with your spiritual order. Go to the divine alignment with the Lord. Get into in your spirit, knowing who you are. A lot of times we pray these prayers, but we're living a pauper's lifestyle. You're the daughter of a king. You're the son of a king, but you live like you're a peasant, like the prodigal son. He didn't know until he came to himself. And that's what this book does. It brings you to come to yourself, to know who you really are, to get into that divine alignment. So your mind, what you think, your will, your paradigm gets into alignment with the kingship, the order of who you are, the dominion, the rights that you have, the promises that are yours. And guess what? Your body just follows along.
Wow.
It follows, yes.
And I really hear what you're saying, that we seemingly only attack, is it fair to say, just a third?
A third
of what the problem really is.
Yes.
And perhaps just addressing a third of it, that is many times why we may see what we are seeking to change come back so swiftly, or never really move, or is never really addressed. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, because it's just like this. It's just like the third that you're talking about. I love that. That's brilliant, by the way, Pastor. The third is literally the symptom. And so you can go after the symptom all day long. For example, if I break my arm and you put a Band-Aid on it, you're just holding up a symptom of my broken arm. But you haven't gone to the root and healed the broken arm. And so what you have to do is go to the root cause. Go to where the pain is. Go to where the healing needs to take place. Go to where the deliverance needs to take place. And that is always done in your spirit. Always. But a lot of times, just like the world, how they have it. Mind, body, spirit. It goes back to that scripture. I wish above all things that you would be of good health, just as your soul. He's already telling us your soul is fat. It's running its show. But I want your spirit to be healthy. I want your body to be healthy. And when you get your spirit healthy, your finances are healthy, your relationships get healthy, your business deals get healthy. Everything about you gets healthy. But a lot of times, like you said, we go for the third and we're wondering why we're going around the mountain in circles, and we're coming into new problems and new fires that we got to burn out or drench out, and just new stuff. How about go to the source, get your deliverance, get your breakthrough, and then when all that stuff tries to come over and overtake you, you'll be so transcendent above it, you'll see it before it even comes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I hope that somebody that's watching tonight, you will hear exactly what Pastor Rivers is saying and take the necessary time to really get into alignment with your spirit and your soul. And we've talked about this on the show before with previous guests, how the soul element really focuses in on the core aspect of whatever the problem is. Do you think most of us ever achieve this harmony, this three-part alignment that you speak of?
Oh, yeah, because the first thing is to be brought into awareness. Awareness is like 95% of the way. A lot of people, what does the Bible say? My people perish for the lack of knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, the information, but that's the key. A lot of people reject the information.
Wow.
If it doesn't, this is what the Lord told me, because in my book, I talk about yoga. I talk about all kind of alternative healing practices. And I remember when I was doing the book, I was like, no, Lord, I'm a pastor. I'm like, that's the devil and da-da-da-da. And God, I call it the rabbit hole. He took me down the rabbit hole of information. And he said, number one, keep Jesus in the forefront and you won't get lost. So that was what I was concerned about. Lord, you're taking me down this rabbit hole. Am I going to get lost and come out something different? He said, no, keep my son in the forefront at all times with all this information that comes to you. Leave him first. You'll be all right. And so with that, the revelation I received with all these healing practices is just a word game. And so a lot of us in the Christian faith, we run from things that can heal us because of a word. Yoga, that makes people run away. But if you look at people that practice yoga, they're healthier, they live longer lives, they eat better foods, they're happier people. And I was like, why is that, Lord? He said, yes, some of them look at it as a religion, but that's because that's how they view it. Mm-hmm. But if you see it as what it is, it's a healing practice. It's meant to heal the body. Take out the word yoga, it's just some sequent stretches. It's just some stretches you're doing to the inner parts of your body that's healing the organs internally. That's making it where certain chemicals are getting released at the right time. It's where your body is literally in alignment and it's getting healed in ways that medicine cannot touch. And so, and that's the game the enemy plays. So he'll run us away from things that can heal us just based on a name. And so I say, I go back to your question, is it possible? Yes, it is. If you come out of religion, if you come out of what someone has told you and you do your own study, you do your own search, you look to the Lord and go to your spirit and you begin to commune with the Lord yourself and say, Lord, what is going to be good for my body? What's going to be a good healing practice for my body? Some people can do yoga. Some people can't. It's not good for their body. But guess what? Some people can do meditation and it works wonders. I have clients, they do meditation. They just do mantras of saying a particular scripture. And guess what? Depression, anxiety, just gone. It works if you have the right mindset and intention with it. So to answer your question, yes, you can get a balance if you have the intention that you want it, and if you have the intention to seek out things that are out of your comfort and out of your norm.
Wow. I guess that old saying, what the devil meant for evil, God meant for good is true.
Yes. Yes, that is so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So listen, there is no harm in doing yoga or any other exercise if you're not placing your worship into the exercise. You're just using it to gain flexibility, mobility, and health, and stimulating your mind. All of these practices are beneficial to us, to our body. 1/3, as we said earlier. The other third, if you know who you are putting your trust in and who you are relying to, that's the other third. And if your mind is clear, speak to that real quick about sobriety of mind or clarity of thought.
Yes, that part is powerful because we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. So our conscious mind is the mind that's right now, that's engaging, that's listening to me, that's an awareness, that's awoken right now. Your subconscious mind is the mind that's pretty much in the driver's seat, but that we're not aware of. So the subconscious mind is the mind that you would say is the autopilot. We don't have to think about getting a toothbrush, putting toothpaste on it and brushing our teeth. That's your subconscious mind. It just automatically does it. We don't have to think about getting in the car and driving down the street. We just automatically know how to do it. Tying our shoestrings, all these things that we naturally do, those are usually our subconscious mind. The same thing goes for those that are trying to diet. For me particularly, I love sweets. And so God has told me to cut out a lot of my sweets. And so my subconscious mind, I'm unconsciously picking up that ho-ho. I'm subconsciously cutting that piece of a sweet potato pie. I'm subconsciously doing the things I'm not supposed to do, but I'm consciously saying I don't need to do it. Once those come into alignment, God said, a double-minded man is not stable in none of his ways. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about two just little brains. He's talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. When they are at war, when you want one thing here, but your subconscious mind wants something else, it's at enmity. It's at war with each other. So God's saying you're not going to be stable because you want one thing, but you're doing another thing. That's what Paul said. I wish that I didn't do this, but I keep doing this, but I wish I didn't do it, but I keep on doing it, but I can't stop doing it, but I want to stop. That's what's going on. He's in that my boss mind, my default mind keeps putting me to do it, but I know I'm not supposed to do it. I don't want to do it. I want something greater. So this is what has to happen. Repetitive, repeat, overload, detox, overload, repeat, detox. Meaning all those things that you don't want, stop doing it. That's number one. Detox from it. You don't want to keep watching or being around people that gossip because you don't like gossiping. Don't be around people that gossip. Don't watch gossip shows. You got to detox, cut it off. And then input constantly, repeat things that are pure, think people that talk powerful thoughts, life-bringing thoughts, not negative things. Anything that you're trying to aspire to, do it consistently, not just one time. Because guess what? It has to be so repetitive, it goes now to the subconscious. It then becomes your default to where it's your normal. For example, we know those people that are always happy. You know, we kind of get upset about them sometimes, you know, because they're just so bubbly. Like, what you bubbly about? But they don't have to be there. It has nothing have to be good or going on, but they're just happy because you know what? They've been happy many yesterdays, and it's become their default mode. Even in chaos, their default is happiness. Isn't that powerful? But some of us, our default, we go back to our street way, start to cussing and cursing and beating up folks, and no. But yet then you repent and you're crying and snotting at the nose. One oil be poured all over you. And God say, no, just surround yourself. I love it. I tell my clients, go to the light. Stay around things that bring light to your life, things that make you feel good. Run to it. Every day, you should not have a day that you didn't do something that you didn't want to do. That's insanity.
It really sounds like you're saying we must be intentional about our greatness.
Yes, that's it. That summed it all up. Look.
So being great doesn't come by osmosis?
No, sorry.
Or just a desire to be great? So wait a minute, Pastor Rivers, you're telling me I can't be great just because I want to be great?
No.
I'm about to log off. I don't want to hear. Come on.
Yes.
I want to be great.
And that is your hope. That is your faith, right? Your faith is you want to be great. So that's what some of our audience are saying, right?
Yeah.
But what does the Bible say? Faith without works is dead. So you can have that desire. You can have these dreams. I have a vision wall. I have my whole wall is filled with visions and dreams and what I want to do. I can look at that wall till I'm blue in the face and be praying over it and decreeing over it. But if I don't put an action to it, if I don't put an intention to it in my next day, so I see something that I want, and the next day I have a goal to get closer to it, I'm never going to get there.
Yeah.
Never going to get there. And some people say, well, it might happen. Well, you wait there and see. Let me know. I'm waiting for the person to tell me it happened, that their doorbell rang, and the person just came there and had all their desires just given to them right there. And all they did was just sit in their room and pray. I want to see that happen.
Wow.
Because I want to see, because I've learned, because remember, I study. And so I study people. I study the great ones of our kingdom. I study the great ones of the world. And all of them worked. All of them were intentional. All of them were positive and had gratitude. These are literally, they're giving us the roadmap to tap into our greater self. And we have the benefit because we have Christ leading us along the way. So we have a sure way of getting there, not just here on earth, but even in our afterlife. So we have a win-win.
Wow. Whereas, and I think this is great, where we have the advantage as those of us who identify as Christians, we don't just focus on our body, or as most of the world does, focus on the body and even the thought process, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I think, again, that's where we as Christians have advantage, because we also concentrate on the soul. Yes. So this is so powerful. I think what I'm getting out of this immediately is that I must concentrate. If I want beautiful greatness, I don't want messy greatness where I'm just thinking it.
Yes,
Gosh,
yes,
I want to be great. I want my
yes,
name
yes.
out there. I
Come
want
on.
to
Yes,
travel like Dr. Rivers. I want to be
yes,
traveling.
yes,
Gosh, I'm
yes,
tired of sitting here every day. I want to get up and
yes.
travel. I want to travel. I want
Hmm.
to travel. God, I want to
Yeah.
travel. God, I want to travel. God, I want to
And what I
travel.
tell
Why can't
people,
I travel? Why can't I travel?
and that's what I ask people, why can't you?
Mm.
Go get a ticket.
Be intentional.
People they say, oh, I want to go here. I want to go where you're going. Well, buy a ticket. I don't have the money. Save the money for it.
Save the
Save,
money.
save $25, save $50. I said, well, how about this? Just research to see how much it costs in the first place.
Mm.
Some people aren't even intentional to see. How do you know you can't afford it?
And
You
this
see?
piece with the soul, if I could turn Long Talk into a testimony service,
Yeah.
no more than 15 seconds. Here we go. I found out when you're intentional and when you're thinking on those things which are pure, just, lovely, and honest,
Yeah.
and when you are working towards it,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason or another, God sees it and He intervenes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then I'll get a call. Hey, listen, did you know that this airline was having a sale this
Yeah.
Wednesday? And
Come on.
girl, hey, Pastor Jackie,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can fly from Sacramento to Atlanta for $28
Come
round
on.
trip.
Now. I'm telling you, I believe it. I've traveled to London on a 400 round trip ticket
Say that again.
from California all the way to London for $400 back and forth, there and back.
You know how many friends I have that want to go to London?
It's so simple. Get
I
a
don't.
ticket.
I've got friends watching me right now. I don't believe this was by accident that you even just gave. I thought it
Wow.
was about my testimony. It's really
Yes,
about yours.
it's real.
Friends, many of you are watching me. You know who you are. I'm not going to embarrass you or call your name out. We've talked about the fact that you want to go to London. The woman of
Go.
God just said she flew
Yeah.
from the West Coast. Most of
That's
us are on the East Coast.
mm-hmm.
And she flew from California to
Mm-hmm.
London for $400.
$400. And look at this. They gave me a layover, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my layover was in Iceland. I got to spend a whole day in Iceland. 2 trips in one.
Wow.
Then got to hopscotch to Italy. Then went to Paris. Italy trip cost $70. Paris trip cost 30. You got to look. You got to have the intention, and God will make a way. He will make a way. He won't work with when you don't have an intention. It's wishful thinking. No, put a demand on the promises of God. And the way you put a demand on the promises of God is believe who you are. You are a king. You are a queen. You are the daughter of a king. You are the son of a king. Wouldn't he give you what you asked for? But if you don't believe you can get it, what's he going to give it to you for?
Pastor Jackie, did you?
Yes.
I know I'm being facetious did I hear
Yeah.
you say you flew to London
Yeah.
$70?
No. So I went to
You
London
went to
for
London.
400.
Uh-huh.
And then at London, I went to Rome, Rome
You
for
went to Rome,
700.
Italy.
Uh-huh. So back and forth, that was a round trip ticket. Was back in London, then went to Paris, and it was like a $40 ticket there and back.
$40.
Mm-hmm.
If my
So
daddy
when you
was
get to
alive, he'd say,
London,
baby, that's just beautiful.
and it was too. It was so beautiful. I
Oh,
enjoyed
just
it. Hmm.
beautiful.
Yes.
And tonight, that's what we're talking about from
Yes.
Pastor Jacqueline Rivers. If you're just joining us here on Lone Talk, our special guest is Pastor Jacqueline Rivers, who is the author of the new release, Beautiful Greatness. Beautiful Greatness. And tonight, I want you to pick it up. You see it on the screen, and she's also holding it up. That's that wonderful publication that Pastor Rivers penned. And tonight, I wish that you would take a moment and go to Amazon and search for Beautiful Greatness by Pastor Jacqueline Rivers. Pick up a copy, as I know it will be a blessing in your life. Pastor Jackie, as we move on, I do want to ask you this. I've got a ton of questions here, but I want to ask you this one. tonight we are talking about finding myself in this
Yeah.
pandemic, which leads me to my next question. How are you managing uh, staying authentic?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big word for me. That's one of my key words that I live my life by.
Oh, yes.
Authentic. How are you staying authentic during this pandemic and this time of plague?
Yeah, so a lot of the people that follow me, you all know, and for the viewers that are just meeting me, I am an addicted adventurous. I love to travel. I love to not just travel on ministry trip or business trip, but I like to travel just personally. I can just go somewhere and just enjoy the beauty of what God has created. Particularly if it's by an ocean, I'm there, any kind of water. And so because of the pandemic, flights, okay, we're not doing too many flights. And actually my last trip was actually to Atlanta, Pastor. I went to Atlanta and then came back, and then I was grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do personally is I became innovative. I had to become innovative because I have to be authentic to myself. I need to be able to go on an adventure, do something new in my day.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did was the pandemic was not stopping me from going to a park.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
the park, I have a local park. I would go there, I would do my running exercises. Then I would sit by the water and meditate. Just this last weekend, I traveled like it's about an hour away, but it still felt to me like I was traveling somewhere. And I went to it was like a mountain. I went hiking. So
Mm.
the pandemic couldn't follow me there. I was, that's really social distancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
People aren't hiking up a mountain.
Sure.
And so I went on a 20-mile hike. And then the day after that, I went on a picnic. So I'm being innovative where I'm not staying glued to this house, but I'm following the law. I am following the law. I'm not going to places that are grouped with a lot of people. We're not going to, church buildings, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still staying authentic to myself. And I'm a writer. This has been a pretty amazing time for me in regards to my writing. Started writing a new book, actually a couple new books. And the creative vibes have been just blowing my mind. Why? Because the noise has silenced. Yeah, that noise, because when everything is going on and we're just going, it becomes so noisy. Even when we're working, we're doing good work, but we can get so working in that mode and in that groove of things, we're not hearing clearly because of all the noise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so God, He silenced the noise because He had me get off of social media a lot more.
Okay.
He had me reading my books a lot more. I read like 4 books a month. He just had me just in that alone time, but not alone time because I'm still a coach and a mentor and all that stuff.
Sure.
But you had made a comment at the beginning. You said, "How do I do that all at once?" And my answer to that is, I don't. I've learned how to compartmentalize.
Sure.
And so I've blocked all those things off. And so one of my blocked times is to be authentic to myself is I do something new every day with my adventure. So yeah. And then I also, this is really powerful, Pastor. I do what I call is mind vacations. You know how they call them stay vacations?
Mm-hmm.
I do mind vacations. I'm in my head and I'm picturing myself back in Paris, back in London.
Wow.
I'm seeing it, because we can visualize. God gave us these beautiful minds to see beautiful things. And so if I'm in the house and I can't go anywhere and I'm taking a break between a conference, between someone or a meeting, I take a quick little mini vacation and I'm by the water and I'm just loving that moment. And then I come back to myself. But what I'm doing is I'm staying authentic to me. I'm not complaining about the fact that I can't go and do this. That's wasting my energy and my time. I'm being innovative and I'm making it so I'm still doing it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So I tell the listeners, still do you, boo. It might just look a little different, but still do you.
Taking that time to one of the things that I heard you say that the Lord dropped on me about 3.5 weeks ago was to praise me for my creation. I know about this whole thing when you and I are on planes and we're in conferences and workshops and preaching and teaching, and even now while we're sheltering in place, we're Zooming and we are Facebooking and IGing and YouTubing and
I love
streaming.
it. Uh-huh.
But he said, son, praise me for my creation. So while you were hiking that day, I was in what my mother calls an open field.
Woo!
About
Yeah.
4 miles from my house, there's a large farm that's just about,
Mm.
I don't know, a couple hundred acres of
Yes.
just green grass.
Ooh.
And I took my 2 sons out and called up a buddy of mine because I always have to let my sons know that I'm Superman, right?
Of
And
course.
so we had bought them some drones for Christmas.
Ooh.
I'd never flown a drone before a day in my life, and I said, "Man, I know you're a photographer. You fool with drones. Come on out here." And he brought his son, and the
Yeah.
6 of us just was out there for a couple of hours flying
Yeah.
drones,
Yeah.
laughing,
Isn't
and
it
we went
wonderful?
and got some ice cream and brought it. And my son said to me, both of them said, "Dad, this was the best day ever." And I was thinking,
Yes.
I didn't have to go to GameStop and buy any new games.
No, you didn't have to spend a dime.
I didn't have to go on Amazon and purchase any more cards for
Come on.
Xbox
Mm-hmm.
360. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Xbox One and PlayStation and all that. Man,
Yeah.
and while I
Yeah.
was out there, I'm seeing the drones flying in the air, and I'm looking at this wonderful grass, and I'm watching birds
Oh,
fly after the drones, and I'm
yes.
going, God, this is beautiful.
Isn't it? And then what does it do to you? Don't you feel good?
Oh my,
You, I love it. I'm addicted to that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Those are the adventures I go on.
I'm learning. Pray for me. I'm learning that. I'm learning that because I've always praised God for the blessings and the
Yeah.
overflow and the prosperity and
Uh-huh.
but I'm learning to praise him, as my Methodist brothers and sisters say, for his creation, him and below. Praise
Yeah.
God from whom all bless. I'm learning about the God who made the heavens and the
Yes.
earth.
Because brother, get this. When you're out there, he's talking the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
He talked through those birds. He talked through the field. He talked through the ocean when I go. He talks through the dog that's running in the ocean. He's talking through all of that.
Wow.
And
Wow.
when we have that time to sit still, we can hear it.
Mm.
But when we're on our Instas and our Facebook sends and this and this and that and that, and this is what God told me, because my life, my businesses, they are online. But he told me, he said, baby, that's not reality. He
Mm.
said, all that I've created, this is real. Go touch it.
It's authentic.
It's authentic. Since you want to be authentic, you need to be around things. Remember, I told you about repeat, repeat, repeat.
Yeah.
How you want to be, you got to surround yourself with what is.
Mm.
So you want to be authentic, but all your life is spent on the computer,
Mm-hmm.
this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Be authentic, go out to the ocean. Be authentic, go out to the field, the open field. Go
Or the
hike.
lake or the pond
Or the
or
lake, the pond, or just
wherever.
at a
The
park and sit at a
mountains.
bench. Yes.
I've got another friend. She's talking about how her fiance is taking her into the mountains here in
Yeah.
Georgia, and how it's just the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. And
Mm.
it stirred me up. I told my wife, if we can get my mama or somebody to watch these 3 boys, I want to
So,
go to the
yes.
mountains.
No, and brother, I'm gonna hold you accountable to that too.
Sure,
I'm
sure,
gonna check
sure.
in, be like, did you take my sister to the mountains? It's time. It's time. Take her up there. You both need it. Because
Absolutely,
that's a whole
absolutely.
different discussion, but that's what builds healthy relationships.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes them pure and just holy, and it just brings you together in that intimacy
Mm.
without even the sex part, just intimacy
Yeah.
in that beautiful creation that God has created. It's just a beautiful thing. So yes, I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Please do, please do.
Yeah.
Many that watch me know that I try to be the most balanced that I
Yeah.
possibly can be. Not so much 100% ministry, but I try to
Yeah.
do, hear it again, all in balance. Try to do 30% ministry,
Mm.
30% family, 30% mental health.
Yeah.
And so I really want to work more on this piece of continuing to balance out family and mental health, because I'm looking for beautiful greatness. I really
Yes.
am. I want somebody to look at my life and not say I'm beautiful, but to say that's beautiful greatness.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
So that's where we are. Friends, if you're just joining us tonight, we're on with our special guest, Pastor Jacqueline Rivers, as she's discussing and talking from her newest release, Beautiful Greatness. Tonight, I'm asking you, please, she's only sort of scratched the surface of the contents of this publication, but I need you, ma'am, I need you, sir, to take just a moment while you're viewing this to go ahead and head over to Amazon and pick up a copy of Jacqueline Rivers' Beautiful Greatness. As I promise you, it will be a blessing to your life. All right? All right. Well, listen, I got just a few more things I want to ask quickly. I want to ask you this, Pastor Rivers. I know you have a great book. It's Beautiful Greatness, right? But what other resources could you recommend to help some of our listeners? Since you said you're reading 4 books a day,
Yes.
what are you reading? What would you suggest to our listening audience?
Not a day, Pastor. That would be a lot of reading. But I read 4 books
4
a
books a
month.
month, you said.
At least.
Yeah, a month. I'm sorry.
4 books a month. So the book I'm reading right now, actually, it's a really good book. It's called The Year of Yes. It's The Year of Yes, and it's pretty much where Shonda is the woman that wrote the stories of Grey's Anatomy.
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. So she's an author. And what she talks about is her journey of a whole year that she decided to say yes to anything that she was fearful of doing. Yes. Because when I first got the book, I was like, Lord, why are you leading me to this book? I need to have the gift of saying no. I need a whole year of saying no. And then he's like, no, you need to be able to say yes to the things that you are running from, the things that are out of your comfort zone, that on the other side of that fear is greatness. On the other side of that fear is breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because, you've been orchestrating. He was talking to me. He said, you've been orchestrating your own adventures, but now I'm going to take you on adventures that to you might seem fearful. You might start getting some calls and people wanted you to do this, and you'll be like, normally you would say no to.
Yeah.
Where now, because you've made this commitment to say yes,
absolutely,
you're going to do it. So yeah, so I'm finding it. She's a really funny author. I love the way she's writing. So I'm loving that book. Another one, and that goes especially for people that are struggling with anxiety. Anxieties and just fears of being outside of themselves. They're so stuck into the normacy of safe, having that safe life, but really they're not living. And so it helps people to live. And so that's why I say get that book. This is a humorous book, but it's also a challenging book to help you to be more authentic. Another book is one of my all-time favorites. It's by my mentor and spiritual mom, Dr. Cindy Trim, and that is Hello Tomorrow. And I can tell you all of her books, but that particular book was a catalytic change for me. And it's called Hello Tomorrow because it helps you actually write the vision for 12 different areas of your life. I mean, from your relationships to your marriage, to your colleagues, your legacy. What is your vision for your legacy? I mean, she just goes down the list, your personal brand. Because a lot of times we don't even think about that stuff. We're just focused on one generic or umbrella way of saying, well, I want to live my life helping others. But what does that look like? What is that going to unravel to be in your life? And so we talked about a lot in this segment about being intentional. And so that book helped me personally be intentional about even my time I spend with my children. I carve out time that's untouched for my children. My time that I spend with my businesses and different things in regards to, even I'm not married now, I'm divorced, but I've utterly opened my heart to be married again. So writing the vision to what that looks like in the future. And so it's a very powerful book if you're feeling really stuck and you need some guides and some questions, because it actually puts questions in there for you to follow. And then I have a blog that I've been writing. Yeah, every day God gave me a challenge. It's a 365-day blog that's actually going to turn into a devotional book. And so I'm on actually day 215 today.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and it's about the journey of preparation into singleness, marriage, and intimacy with God.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
Wow.
everybody is in all of those. For the rest of your life, you should be single in your singleness, even if you're married, and then also in intimacy with God. And so you see my journey in that, and there's some great teachings daily. So that's another resource you can go to. I have a whole bunch, but that's just some few that you can look for now.
Great. 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 Well, listen, I've enjoyed this. I want to ask you one last thing before we go.
Yes.
Um, we touched on this at the beginning, but perhaps many who are watching now were not on. So I want to sort of recap.
Okay.
While we're in this pandemic and while we're in this time of plague, many are searching to really find out who they are, what their purpose is, what is their destiny, what have they been called to do, what should they be doing. And a lot of people are always watching and asking that question. And I just want to ask you just to speak to that. How can I find out how beautiful and the greatness that I possess during this pandemic?
So the first thing I would say, even beyond my book, the first thing is to be the lover of you.
Mm,
It's so easy for us to love others. It's so easy for us to love God. We can worship God and praise God. But when we are really in the place of loving us, a lot of people come short. And
yeah.
if we're really honest, we do. And some people are like, no, I love myself. and if and if I go a little deeper, I'm like, okay, if you love yourself, you can hurt yourself. I don't hurt myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You hurt yourself with your negative thoughts towards yourself. You hurt
Mm,
yourself with what you put in your body by the things you eat. You
yeah.
hurt yourself by what you don't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you are your biggest cheerleader, when you are your lover, you want to
Mm,
spend time with you. You want to caress you. You
mm,
want to pour into you. You want to
mm-hmm,
love on you.
mm-hmm,
And when you get to that place outside of anything external to you, because see, sometimes we can feel love and feel happy because of something else external to us. But
mm-hmm,
when we can be like our little friends that are always happy and bubbly no matter what, because of us, because of who we are, that's when you start going and you can start walking in the realm of walking into your beautiful greatness. Because I can teach you all this stuff. You can read my book over and over and over. But if you don't love you, this stuff is it's just gonna fall off.
mm,
It's gonna fall off. So my advice to everyone is spend time with you. Spend time just sitting, listening to what are those thoughts swarming in your head? What is the conversation going on? Because you'd be surprised. Some of that stuff is not good. And so you got to be able to cancel that stuff out. And then when's the last time you just had a date with just you? You have to have people around you. That might mean something that you don't like spending time alone with you. I
yeah.
tell my clients, I said, you're with you 24/7 every day of the year, every moment. You cannot run away from you. So why not like you that you're with all the time?
Yeah.
Love on you. And this is the thing when I tell my people that don't love their body, I'm like, if you disregarded a friend,
Mm-hmm.
if you talked about a friend, ignored a friend, you think that's going to stay your friend?
No.
No. So that's why our body gets sick. That's why our body rejects the things that we want to happen. Why? Because we're not embracing it. We're not loving our body. Being
Mm,
content in where you are right now, who you are right now, is not saying that you are okay with it,
sure.
that you don't want to change it. You can change it. But first, love you. And everything, all the freckles, all the lumps, the curves, the dimples, everything about you, the wrinkles, the corks, everything. Love it. Write it. And I give you guys homework. Write a love letter to you.
Mm,
Tonight, before you go to bed, write a love letter to you. Hide it somewhere. About a week later, find it and read it as if you're reading it for the first time.
wow.
Love on you, and then read my book. But the book will actually send you to that process of loving you. But that's the core foundation. Love on you. Be your
Wow.
best cheerleader. Yep.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Listen, friends, I've said it once. I'll say it again. Please, please do me a favor. I need you, ma'am. I need you, sir. I'm talking to you, sir. Go right now to Amazon. Go to the app that's there on your phone, or perhaps you need to go to Amazon.com if you're on the computer, and search for Beautiful Greatness by Pastor Jacqueline Rivers. Again, that's Beautiful Greatness by Pastor Jacqueline Rivers. Pick up your copy today, as I know it will be a blessing in your life. Pastor Jacqueline, I've enjoyed this dialogue here on
Me
Long Talk this
too.
evening.
Yes, it's been so fun. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
All
I
right.
love.
Enjoy the balance of your evening.
All right, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, friends, I pray and trust that you enjoyed this time and that you were just energized by this wonderful dialogue. And I pray and I trust that you really took the time to hear what Pastor Jacqueline Rivers was saying. And I want to echo those sentiments tonight by saying that we need to discover the greatness within ourselves. Let me say that again. We need to discover the beautiful greatness within ourselves. Let's have another long talk for just a few moments. I promise I'm not going to be long. Love on yourself. With so much distractions and noise and voices of telling you what you can't do, what you're not eligible to achieve, and what you should not do because you are who you are. Cancel that out tonight. In this long talk, I want to say to you, sir, I want to say to you, my sister, write yourself that love letter. Tell yourself, I love this about me. I love the fact that I am. I'm starting to love the fact that I am becoming. And when you begin to highlight those things, and when you begin to focus on the things that you need to work on, when you say I'm becoming, and when you really realize that you need just a little bit more effort and just a little bit more work to achieving what you wish to become, then do what we mentioned tonight. Focus in on it in 3 aspects. With your body. Yeah, do whatever you need to do. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it is meditation. Maybe it is going out and hiking. Maybe it is running. Maybe it is walking because you want to lose a few pounds before the heat kicks in. Maybe it is that you want to go back to school. Go ahead and go online and fill out the information. Go ahead and try to register. You say, but I don't want to take a full load. Well, sign up for a class. If you've got a debilitating disease and you're saying, I don't want to die, then I'm going to ask you to speak well of yourself and take the necessary steps to position and nurse yourself back to health. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. Yes, follow the doctor's orders, but you have the power to control your own health. Here's the long talk. You put yourself in this mess. Now you can get yourself out of this mess. That's my long talk for you tonight. I've enjoyed this dialogue. Friends, do me one favor. On this coming Thursday, my special guest will be Pastor Renee Winston from San Francisco, California. This woman is a tremendous author. She wrote a book, Only God Can Do It. She travels preaching and teaching. She's going to be with us this Thursday. It's going to be a wonderful dialogue. So I pray and trust that you will tune in this Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. with our special guest, Pastor Renee Winston. All right? Well, friends, again, this is your friend, this is your brother, Daunta Long, and you've just been involved in Long Talk. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. This has been your Long Talk.
Follow us on Facebook at Daunta Long. Follow us on Instagram at Daunta Long. Follow us on YouTube at Daunta A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.